Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here today. My name is Dom, and I'm thrilled to have an opportunity to speak to you about a topic that is crucial in today's digital online world: proactive online reputation management. As PR professionals, I'm sure you're well aware of the impact that brand's reputation can have on its own success. However, in our rapidly evolving digital world, it's no longer enough to simply react to reputation issues as they arise. Today, proactive reputation management has become a necessity for organizations and individuals seeking to thrive and maintain that positive image. During this presentation, we will explore strategies and techniques that will empower you to take control of your online reputation. What topics we're going to be covering today? The power of monitoring and listening, how to craft a positive digital brand image, leveraging social media for reputation enhancement, how to mitigate risk and handle reputation crisis, how to build strong relationships with online audiences, and the importance of measurements and for continuous improvement. To make this more engaging, I will uncover some practical tips and real examples and proven best practices that will help you navigate the complex landscape of online reputation management with confidence and finesse. I encourage you to take notes, participate in discussion, and ask you to ask questions along the way. For those who are new to our webinars, I would like to remind you that every Wednesday we host a training session here on YouTube. Every second week is for those who starting with online reputation management or has recently joined Repsense. And every other Wednesday we delve deeper into the subject with sessions dedicated for professionals looking to advance in online reputation management, like today. Our webinar is being streamed live on Repsense YouTube channel, and I would like to use this opportunity to invite you to subscribe to our channel to stay updated about future events, or visit this video in case you missed any part of it. Share it with your peers, of course. Additionally, the video will be available on the event page at www.repsense.io after the session, of course. So if you want to share with someone, just go to the page where you put your registration and share a link. Also, during the presentation, feel free to use the chat box to ask questions, to say hi, to leave a comment. I will try to respond them at the end of our session. Most likely we'll be able to respond to the comments within the next 24 hours. And then also you can always write to me and we can contact directly. Also, depending on the number of questions that we're going to receive today and this discussion that's going to start, the event should take about an hour. So let's embark on this journey to become proactive reputation managers and ensure that our brands and clients thrive in this digital realm. So without further ado, let's dive into the world of online reputation management and discover the strategies, how to succeed in this interconnected world. I also want to use this opportunity to encourage you to go to our website and click on the button blog. This is where all our new content is being placed by my team, and this is where you can get a lot of new insights and ideas of what we're tracking and how to start working with online reputation management. Also, the Learning Center, that's the area we have all that information related to the learning about online reputation, all the events, all the future events, and the recordings of the previous events. So just go to the website and try to browse through the content. That's a lot of helpful and good and interesting content there. Okay, so let's just start with these 5 minutes countdown. As the famous quote by Warren Buffett, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and only 5 minutes to ruin it. So I have this 5-minute counter, and although Mr. Buffett offered this pearl of wisdom almost a decade ago, since then the digital revolution has truly taken over. So even though this quote still rings true today, I think it needs updating a little bit. Thanks to the digital world, everything is so much faster. You can now build a reputation much faster, but you can also ruin it much faster. So forget 5 minutes, try 0.5 seconds, or however quickly you can click the mouse or the button to fail in your reputation. The cancel culture is rife, and it's not just celebrities who need to be careful. business leaders and brands are also under fire. An erratic tweet or damning online review can have huge repercussions on corporate reputation and ultimately on companies' bottom line. So it's time to get proactive about your online reputation. Reputation is something that needs to be built over a continuous, period of time and continuously maintained. It's not just about making sure that information about you, your company, or your sales messages are, out there. They are relevant, but also like curating this digital presence to make sure that there are, information that you are proud of and that resonates with your target audiences that might be looking for you there. Think about online reputation of your business as an ecosystem, which is only as strong as its weakest link. And knowing your threats is definitely important. The digital dark arts are real. And it's not only about troll farms and the dark web, or mystified. It's much more likely that the threats on your reputation might come from a hostile journalist or a targeted phishing attack, and you need to be aware of those threats and what threats are out there and what's your contingency plan that you're going to put in place to mitigate those risks if they occur or once they occur. So do you have an effective crisis communication plan? Is there like a cybersecurity response to a breach? What information you're gonna put out there? What do you do in a case of a data leak in your company? And I guess if you don't, these are the questions that you should be asking yourself as a business leader. Once the negative information is out there, how do we respond? What information we're going to be pushing out to make sure that that information does not surface? And of course, there are several categories that you want to be tracking of. First of all, your leaders. The people at the top of the company are intrinsically linked to the company's reputation. So if their character comes under question, so does your company. And this might be an opportunity here as well. Your leadership can become your brand advocates and also contribute to the marketing effort, with some tailored and developed online profiles. Your brand goes without saying that the reputation of the brand itself online is critical, and your brand needs to be put in the best spotlight possible. And all online communication needs to be controlled and cleared for reputation risks. And your brand, with your website has the highest chance to rank high on Google, and then you should be in control of all the searches related to your brand. But not only the brand that matters, is also your partners. And I'm not only talking about the supply chains, but who you work with has a direct reflection on your business too. And influencer marketing is which is like incredibly popular now. But do you really know how reputable the partners you work with are? Once you sign a contract, that influencer is a direct representative of your brand, and therefore their reputation becomes just as important as yours. And it can be hard to know where to start with so many different components to consider. What should be clear is that managing your online reputation is something that needs to be proactively approached, and managed on a daily basis. You need to actively curate a favorable online presence, and one that stands up to scrutiny and is defensible in the event of a reputation crisis. So here's how you can make a start, and how do you begin with that. Knowledge is power, and having the entire picture of how your business or leadership is viewed online is where you need to start. To build and protect your reputation, you need to have a visibility of all open source information regarding your business available. This will allow you to effectively map your online presence, identify both opportunities and threats and risks, even before they can come into surface. So find any negative product and employer review, and seek out negative news articles or unfavorable Reddit threads or any negative information that is there in time, and to know that what are your current reputational issues and where you need to start if you want to mitigate the risks. So even in the slide I'm showing like several different profiles of how we tracking online the search intent of the people looking for different reputation things, and your investors will be looking for this most likely different information than your potential employer. So you might want to measure them in the different cups. Do you understand, what's your investor profile reputation and what's your reputation with your potential employees? And reviews matter, but let's just get specific here. Only the visible reviews will be the ones that matter. And in today's digital world, the reviews come in various forms, and each one can shape how your brand is being perceived. Of course, we're talking star-rated reviews, like product comparison reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. A blog post featuring your product is also in review, and even a video reel with product mention is going to be a review. They all contribute to the grand tapestry of your online reputation, and but it doesn't stop here. We have review sites like SiteJabber, Yelp, Trustpilot, Discuss, and Reddit, and these places where people openly discuss all sorts of topics, including your brand. They are important as well. These platforms serve like a mind mapping data banks that are molding your online reputation based on what other people are saying about you. So let's not forget about affiliate sites as well. They consistently churn out the review type content, and this is where it gets interesting. Some of these reviews are paid, while others can be earned freely. Why? Because search engines often favor websites that compare at least 3 different products within the same category instead of just reviewing one. So it's a clever tactic to boost their Google rankings, and then this also means that sometimes you can be a part of the review, not necessarily if you want to have your placement there. You're just going to be a part of the review because your 2 competitors are being reviewed, and you are just mentioned there for the quantity. So let's talk about the contingency plan. How do you manage these reviews? Do you respond to them? Do you encourage those reviews with different incentives, like monetary incentives, prize incentives? There are critical questions that demand thoughtful consideration. Responding to reviews shows your commitment to customer satisfaction and builds trust. Incentivizing reviews where through discounts, loyalty programs, or exclusive perks can stipulate engagement and generate more positive feedback. But remember, online reviews have the power to make or break your brand's reputation, and they are the voice of your customers and also your potential customers. Your contingency plan should always involve an active monitoring and responding to your reviews across all platforms where you can be reviewed. So in a way, nurturing a culture of transparency and customer centricity. So I challenge you to develop a robust contingency plan to manage reviews effectively. Embrace the feedback, respond thoughtfully, create an incentive, and encourage authentic engagement to get a review. Of course, by doing so, you will harness the power of reviews and strengthen your online reputation, and you will be in the control of the narrative that is in the review. So even if you failed in any sort of the business, we all make mistakes, but just in the way you approach that, the way you are showing your willingness to change the problem, change the situation, how this is approached, that's going to have a much more impact than just a negative review that's standing there. And I want to show like some particular example of which is very well used with those who are on Apple Store or Google Meet. And trust me, this is where the rubber meets the road. When it comes to your brand success, you want to be managing those reviews, and for the companies who have an app, this will be very, very important. So let me just share some personal experience. Negative reviews that appear in the top 5 results can have a staggering 50% negative impact on your conversion rates. So after 5 first Google site pages, if you have a negative review, this might impact half of your business. That's a lot. you know it's simple, and for example, with an app, if your app sucks, you won't get downloads, and that's why companies go to great lengths to secure those positive reviews on the websites like Apple Store and Google Pay. And there's an intriguing tactic to this. You have to create a complaints area on your own website and give your customers a direct channel, to express their grievances instead of airing them publicly. Not only does this go, not only does this show that you're interested in their opinion, that opinion is important to you, but it also shows that you want to collect that invaluable user experience information for your own data improvement. And it's a win-win in both cases. You get to hear their opinion, but you also have a platform where you collect that information. So there is a strategy that's called invitation-only review. So do you know how you can get invitation to write the review on a public platform? Only those who have previously left a positive review on your own channel should be getting that information. By doing so, you minimize the risk of negative review outbreaks in the media, which are harder to control, once they're out there. And you can do it much easier with your own assets. And let's just make one thing clear, fake reviews are a big no-no. Platforms like Apple Store and Google Play and even Trustpilot, they take swift actions if they catch a wind of your such practice. The risk of removal from platform is just one. But having all your positive reviews deleted, regardless how they were generated, is another option. So you will be left only with the negatives. But of course, fear not. Affiliates can be your secret weapon here for gathering more reviews. Identify those magic moments where your customers are very happy and beaming with satisfaction, and then you strike. Ask for review when they are happiest and watch that positive feedback pour in. However, it doesn't stop here. Promptly responding to all reviews, both negative and positive, is crucial. Your aim should be sincere improvement and customer satisfaction, of course, but addressing concerns and showing empathy and striving to meet expectations will go much longer the way in building your online trust and and customer loyalty as well. Now, I want you to live with this mindset that reviews are just not only words, on the screen. They hold the power to shape your brand's destiny. So embrace them, learn from them, use them to propel your business forward. A bad reputation usually rises from the situations where you haven't listened, or you haven't understood, or you have disregarded and ignored what the stakeholders are saying about you. So rather than submitting to the controlling, or being defensive, or suppressing the mindset that online reputation management only encourages bad reviews, initiate the process of listening and engaging with your audiences, also acting upon those reviews that your stakeholders are saying, and you will be in charge of your reputation. So next I want to talk a little bit about reputation index. This is one of the products that our company is offering, and we always get this question, how is calculated, and I'd suggest you might want to take some notes on this one, because we get a lot on this question. So reputation index is not just a number. It's a magical sentiment value that captures the essence of your brands across all platforms where it is mentioned. You know what? It's not only about positive sentiment. We're about to, we look into those crucial signals that will shape your online reputation and that will have a lasting impact. Picture this. Your brand is front and center on the first page of Google search results when someone searches for your company. Can you feel the power of that? And of course, securing a prime spot on the search engine result page is an absolute must to boost your brand's visibility and authority. But having your brand ranking high in the search result is important. But what happens when your brand is also mentioned in the other trusted sources, like news sources, for example? someone with a high media rank. Yeah, let's let up. Okay, so we're talking about two important components: media rank and source strength. Imagine your brand being featured in the national news, spreading its information far and wide, and that's the kind of a reputation goal that you might want to be aiming for. And the source with a high media rank will also have a big audience. So in the slide, I'm showing a demo of a finance company that's Revolut, and how the brand is mentioned in the news category on our app. So all of these sources have the highest media rank possible. We can see 99, see if you can, yeah, I see 99, 94, 192. So the highest possible media rank that is there. And national news will always bring more credibility than the local blog or, good relation with the journalist, and the ability to provide that unique content to every single source of information plays a key role here. You want to be able to be in the news and make sure your content is being placed on the websites with high media rank. Of course, it doesn't stop here. Now we want to talk also about the sentiment. Positive or negative reviews or ratings can shift the perception of the brand. The main goal of monitoring your brand mentions is to be able to identify what is brewing in the media with high authority and potential for that content to be seen by thousands of viewers. There might be issues that you want to address promptly to prevent them from escalating, and you want to be able to create that reputation resilience where you are in control of what's happening, and even if that's already on a second Google page or there's like a news that's happening, you want to take over that narrative and be in control of that. But this is where it gets interesting. There are additional factors that come into play when calculating reputation index. And we are taking up a notch this, emphasizing on through information quality and also information distribution and diversity of sources. So your brand needs to mention across various channels, showcasing its breadth and reach. And it's not only about social media and blogs, but you want to go beyond. You want to achieve that maximum visibility on the search results. And there's nothing older than yesterday's news. So you need to be delivering a new appearances constantly, and it's not about going out once in a year or once in a quarter. Well, once in a quarter could be a good strategy if you want to come out with some hero content, something that will be shared around, and usually that's not easy to build. So and we shouldn't forget about the hero content, because it plays a crucial role here. Because that information quality that really matters. You have to have that quality content across multiple channels to be seen, to be shared, to be clicked on, and to be read and used. You have to use that secret sauce to create that outstanding content that grabs attention, engages with your audiences, and leaves that lasting impression. A press release, usually, very common way of spreading information in public relations, and even if this is reprinted in various sources, it's not really gonna help. But my suggestion is you have to have that exclusive content for every different channel you want to be on, and collaboration with national news outlets suggesting that you're an expert in the field and you have that expert opinion on the topic. Releasing that will go along the way. Even that if that opinion is offered by a CEO, that will boost both your CEO and your public profiles as well. You want to set a KPI to have at least one hero content in the search result pages 70% of the time. So you do not release another new content while that one is still ranking high. Your hero content will boost the score of all of the links in your Google search result pages. And have in mind that if the review is ranked in the number 2 position of Google search results, it's always, and it's a negative review, it's always going to have less impact then a story with a negative sentiment ranked in the top 5 Google search results. It's a part of our DNA to look for those threads, and negative sentiment links are clicked much more often. But what happens then? They get more traffic, they get more clicks, they start ranking higher. The higher they rank, the more clicks they get. And the only strategy for to get that being understood by Google as a not such a trustworthy source is to push it down, to push it to the bottom of the second page of Google search results, or maybe even third page where nobody goes. There's less than 4% of the clicks are being done on the outside of the first page of Google search results. So I also want to talk here about the importance of localization. I'm so sorry. If you are operating in multiple markets, so tailoring your content to a specific region and specific language is a game changer. I'm looking into Europe. There's so many countries with small markets, but although even if it's a one big market, the users are from small markets, countries like 3 to 4 million, up to 40, 50 million in piece. And then you want to have the content in the language where you are trying to sell. And it's not only about automated translations of your website. It's all about connecting with your audiences on a deeper level and showing that you truly understand their needs, their preferences, and you speak their language. It might involve building a bunch of websites covering the same topic and all of them, talking that valuable real estate position in that search result pages. So you want to take as much links in that search result page as possible. Reputation is your most valuable asset. So you want to make it shine brighter than ever before, and you want to make sure that you've seen with that. So in the screen I have a screenshot of a discovery view, and discovery view represents that information users find when they're searching for one of the high volume industry keywords. And in this case I'm using discovery view for JP Morgan when search for the keyword investment bank in US. So to rank high on the search results for a particular keyword, you have to employ that traditional SEO tactics. And in this case we can see that with investment banking, their website is only on position 5. So that's a good result. They're also being mentioned in Investopedia and also in Wikipedia. So these are 2 open source information channels that also mention them in the queries related to that keyword. So currently JP Morgan for the keyword investment banking are being mentioned in 3 out of 10 links. So, and this is the big difference between search engine optimization and SERP engineering. So being number 5 in the link for the keyword, being number 5 search result for the keyword that you want to rank high for, it's just a search engine optimization that is doing pretty okay, but you're not number 1. And I guess Deutsche Bank and Citigroup, they've done a better job here. But also, making sure that you in the content of those open sources like Investopedia and Wikipedia plays a big role here, because you might not be mentioned in that when the competitor is working to create those accounts. So when you're planning a public relations campaign, and you want to measure success of your public relations campaign, so what is the strategy and approach here to measuring that effectiveness of the PR? First of all, what's needed? You have to have that clear and defined objectives. Of course, what's your quantifiable campaign KPIs, and how do you comprehend them? You should be having a campaign efficiency monitoring along the way, and ability to make adjustments along the way. So we've created a scheme that says, okay, so before you want to start, you have to create those communication goals, and then with the communication goals, you kind of define that reputation ambition, so where we want to be, align it with the stakeholder profiles, how that reputation should be communicating to every part of the stakeholders that we have. And you also want to set a baseline, like measure a score, where we are starting working with on these KPIs, so we can know we improved or not. And then in the technical qualification stage, this is usually where we come in. You define your campaign KPIs, you create a list of initiatives, what can you be done to change that, to improve that reputation, and you also define the scope financially and also, content-wise, how much you want to achieve, how much needs to be done for you to be there, to be visible. And then in the last stage, when you go to the campaign action plan, this is where you build your content, this is where you write your narrative, this is where you set your priorities and the things you want to do first and then one after the other. And also this is where you decide on your execution plan based on the budget. And usually that budget is not unlimited, so you want to take it step by step. Go for something that is a low-hanging fruit and get that achieved, and then not get into the situations where you're just in a money pit. So having a plan and KPIs to measure the success is very important. But to execute a project, you need a team. You need to split those tasks and responsibilities among the team, because it's not a one-man's job. In this case, I want to show an example of a project involving a client and Repsense, which is a third party and a SEO agency. So, like when we look into this here, of course, when you want to define a campaign plan, you will be the owner of that idea. You will be the owner of where you want to go, and this is where Repsense comes in as a consultant to tell if this is a good relation, if this is an ambition that is achievable, and then once you aligning this with the stakeholders, now the R&A, so responsible and accounting, goes into the Repsense part. So we are on the state responsible for the stage that aligning that with the stakeholders. We want to look at the search queries, how people are searching for that information, and make sure this is how you want to be seen there. You want to set that baseline where you're standing on that reputation, and this is where your reputation index comes in, so we can tell you what's the score right now with your online reputation for a particular stakeholder profile. And then we can help you define those KPI goals. So like what's going to be achievable in that next 3 to 4 to 5, maybe 6 months or 2 years, where you want to get with that ambition. And then the next part is going to be like creating those list of initiatives and defining the scope and setting the priorities and the budget, execution, and so on. And this is where you want to work with your internal teams or third-party teams that work with your public relations or search engine optimization. As a company, we do the analysis, we help you with consulting, we want to set that reputation's ambition for you. But then, you have to go for the actual work to the professionals that are either inside of your team or someone you might want to outsource. So let me just show an example of a company, Binance, and they're kind of going through a reputation crisis recently, but and this is one of the projects that we've done. So let's say Binance is operating in 3 regions, which is Germany, Spain, France, and Italy, and they're competing with the brands like Coinbase, Kraken, and OKX. And when we did the analysis, we noticed that the lowest reputation index for them was in Germany, scored at 26%. And Binance ranks lower than competitors in Germany. So, you really see an issue here. There's a problem with reputation in Germany. And they had to come out with, some strategic ideas. So how do they want to be seen? What's their reputation ambition for that Germany? And Binance went, for the idea that says a company with the best work/leisure lifestyle balance reputation in Germany. So we want to be that wanted employer that everybody wants to go work for because of that life and work balance. So now this is the data from the real actual platform on our website, and we can see here that this is where the insights. So what are the problems that our algorithms are seeing? What are the problems with the brand mentioning? Maybe not relevant search results. Your website is missing in the first look, so when somebody is looking for your brand, for your brand related keywords, they don't see you. And also we were looking at the data for the different categories, and we can notice that here in the industry field that Binance has a 6% RSI for their profile named CEO, and it's the lowest ranking profile that's dragging all the numbers for them. Okay, so then we go deeper, and then we go into one of those results will be the CEO profile, where your brand name is being matched with the first name and the last name of the CEO. And this is the search results that you're getting. So of course, Wikipedia will rank high. You know this from SEO tactics, and and they have two Wikipedias. So one might be one is a German language, so the content in German language will always rank higher above English content when you're searching for being in Germany. But these kind of two articles on Wikipedia, they solve the problem, and they are taking two positions in the Google search results. So then there's the LinkedIn, and of course it has a positive sentiment as well. There's 100% sentiment for LinkedIn, so probably you have an account that's not saying anything bad about you. But then we go to the other content, and then we can see that all of the other content that has been ranking here, all of them have a negative sentiment, and all of them are in the German language. So while the company chooses to communicate in English only, when search for that company in German, only the German sources will surface the Google search results, and all of them will be Germans. So I guess it is a company's approach that they went for the German market. They wanted to be active there, but they've never created the content in German language. So wherever there is a crisis, and in most of these cases, there's a crisis related and where the CEO is mentioned, and that's in the articles that are in the German language. So localization is very important here. So once we go through understanding what the problem is, we need to make an action plan how we're going to solve that problem. So like usually, this is our three profiles: the CEO, the employee, and the customer profile, and we set a baseline from reputation index that says we had 6% or 43% and 47%, which are our baseline. Then we also set a KPI goal. So what's the goal? What do we want to achieve? What will be the effect once we get all of that done? And then, we put some KPI goals here, because reputation index above 70 is already a very good result. But you want to be, as high as your competitors are, or at least on the top, on the higher part of that reputation. So we set and then just take any one of those. So let's say for the life balance, you want to be an employer. This is your employer branding campaign. So for your employee profile, you're ranked at 43% now. You want to be at 55. How to get there? So first of all, on-site optimization for the Binance.com, and then your career job opening landing page. You want to have information about that, work and lifetime balance on the website where people go to work for you. Also, you want to go and create some other content on the website for job openings landing page. You want to buy that. Also, to make those pages visible, you will need to buy some links. You go to those simple SEO tactics, and you buy the link juice, from other websites, of trustworthy websites that will say this is the site that offers a good career, and also a good career with a good work and life balance. So, how to prepare for that? First of all, we need to make those content writing instructions that will include your brand messaging, your key messages, what you want to be saying there, and also some SEO guidance. So for each campaign, we create these content creation instructions that encompass the brand messaging and, the technical SEO guidance, how to, ensure cohesive and optimized content that, effectively will communicate the key messages of the campaign and improve all that, search engine visibility. Next, you want to choose the media outlets you want to go to. So maybe there's a media outlet that, has been publishing something negatively about you lately. So you will go to that website, and you want to put some new content there, because for publishers or content publishers like news media websites, The newer the content, the better is usually ranked on Google search results. And also choose the timing. If you're doing good and you have some hero content in the search results, maybe let's not push it. Maybe save some good stories for the moments when you're gonna need them. And also, if you want to, then once you go to that execution plan and budgeting, this is where your content team or agency comes in. This is also where your SEO team and agency comes in, where they can make an estimate. Okay, so for us to be here, to have this ambition, to get that achieved, we're going to have to prepare this amount of articles, buy this amount of links, get that project done. It's usually going to be a price tag, an estimate next to that, where you can decide, if that's a project that we can launch now. Do we delay it? Do we split into several projects and do them simultaneously? So, because in the campaign action plan step, Repsense role is like a data provider that, we enable you to work with your public relations and SEO and content teams, and, to make those informed decisions on what needs to be done next and how to work with that information. So you will go for that incremental changes that will have a very low effort but also very low effect, and the quick wins will be the ones that will give the most results. With little effort you can have a quick win. Wikipedia page is always the case. It's not necessarily easy to get that Wikipedia page published, and some of the countries it might be complicated, but once you have that done and you have been persistent to get that done, this will definitely be one of the pages in your SERP result. And of course, going for those big bets, planning your campaigns, planning those activities, planning that hero content, and once the hero content is out, making sure that it gets the maximum visibility by being shared on other sources, being shared on your own channels, and maybe even advertised with search related keywords or affiliates, and even buying some links for that. So what I wanted to achieve here today is to tell you a little bit that we get a lot of these requests that once a company starts working with us and they understand that we have a problem here or a pain point there, so what do we want to do next? And Repsense plays a crucial role here, that we not only identify where your pain points are, but also give you an opportunity to make that task list of what you want to do next and how to achieve that result, aiming for the better reputation and aiming for that resilient reputation online. So thank you very much. I will take your questions now and post them in the chat, and then we will continue. Also, while I'm waiting for those questions, I want to use the opportunity and tell you that if you like what we're doing, if you like what I've been presenting here today, book a demo with my team and let my team show you, how that online reputation can be represented through your tool about your company. Get a demo today, and my colleague Robertas will go and talk to you and show you, how Repsense works. So it's like inside a look and feel. And thank you very much for spending that hour with us, and please come back again next Wednesday.